Well, the Department of Correctional Services has confirmed that former Bosasa COO Angelo Agrizzi has been transferred to an external public hospital in order to receive further medical attention. Agrizzi made an appearance on charges of fraud and corruption at the Commercial Crimes Court sitting at the Palm Ridge Magistrate's Court yesterday, where his bail bid was denied.
The Department of Correctional Services can confirm that remand detainee Angelo Agrizzi has been transferred to an external public hospital in order to receive further medical attention. All inmates are entitled to healthcare services in line with correctional provisions. Mr. Agrizzi's condition will continue to be monitored.
All right, of course, let's get ourselves an update on that. We're joined on the line by SABC News political reporter Samkele Maseko. Of course, who's been following this story quite closely for us as he was at the Palm Ridge Magistrate's Court, as we saw yesterday. A very good afternoon to you, Samkele. We knew the issue of Agrizzi's health would come up again, especially after his bail was denied, no doubt, to his lawyers bringing it up. What is the latest?
Indeed, the issues of Angelo Agrizzi's health will definitely come up because if you remember, yesterday after the magistrate, Philip Venter, delivered his ruling in his denial of bail for Angelo Agrizzi, his lawyer, advocate Daniel Witt, did come up on the stand again and say that any correctional services facility that Angelo Agrizzi will be taken to, they've got to consider that he's got medical requirements, that he's got oxygen machines that are currently located in his home that were providing him with oxygen, and he had an oxygen tube and bag that he had with him when he appeared at the Palm Ridge Magistrate's Court yesterday. And his legal representatives did plead, and the magistrate, Philip Venter, did say that he would have an engagement with the Department of Correctional Services for them to acquire and to equip Angelo Agrizzi with the necessary medical treatment that he will require when he is incarcerated through the remand that he's currently there after he was denied bail. But indeed, his health did come up yesterday in court, and his legal team did raise the matter. It was just a matter of time before he had to be transported to a medical facility in the country.
What do we know what might have happened between yesterday and today when his bail was denied? You know, we do see reports, and I'm looking at social media. There are reports that he ran out of oxygen. Are contingency measures not put in place for those who will be placed in custody at a certain time? And I mean, I don't think he'd be the only person in correctional facility that would require any kind of medical attention. Surely there should be something in place if it's known that a person does have a certain issue. Do we have at this point any information as to what, might have transpired last night?
The situation may have worsened. The oxygen that he had with him, that he had gotten through the private health care that he had gotten, because you remember that in the first appearance of Vincent Smith, Angelo Agrizzi was not there. He was still hospitalized due to his health, and he had come out recently and was under these oxygen ventilators in his home. And essentially what transpired is that his health may have gotten deteriorated, and it may have warranted the Correctional Services Department, through his legal representatives, to afford him the necessary health care that every inmate and every person who is in the facilities of the Correctional Services is entitled to proper health care, as also enshrined by the South African Constitution, that everybody is entitled to proper basic health care. So, Angelo Agrizzi is entitled to that health care. You may find that many facilities also in the country that are under the Correctional Services jurisdiction may not have the necessary medical health care and equipment that Angelo Agrizzi needs at this point in time. Hence, he had to be moved to a public health care facility, which they would be able to give him oxygen and then monitor his health condition and take the measures forward from there and what to do on his health. He himself, hospital through his legal representatives, it states that he's got an oxygen problem, and that needs to be catered for. And the Magistrate, Philip Venter, did say that he would have an engagement with the Correctional Services Department to cater for Angelo Agrizzi. But in the engagement that we've had with the Department of Correctional Services and Justice today, they did state that their capacity is pretty much limited when it comes to fulfilling and giving Angelo Agrizzi the necessary health care that he needs. And you'd find that in many instances, when inmates are sick, most of them are sometimes sent to hospital. For instance, if I were to bring apart the scenario of Shabil Sheikh, when he fell ill in the Correctional Services facilities, he was also taken into public healthcare facilities before he was given parole by the former president, that would be Jacob Zuma. So this issue of medical parole, rather, so this issue of inmates in the country seeking medical treatment, they do go to public healthcare facilities. They don't just always receive health care within the Correctional Services facilities, because you'd remember that the facilities, necessarily when it comes to health care in the Correctional Services facilities, may not be as up to scratch as the government or the government, or the Steve Biko Hospital or the Chris Paraquara Hospital or any other private sector hospital. But Angelo Agrizzi did need special treatment, and he has been sent to one of the public facilities to get oxygen, which he is struggling to have at this point in time.
All right. Thank you very much, Samkele, for giving us that update. No doubt we'll be staying on the story, as you did mention that Magistrate Philip Venter will be engaging with correctional facilities. So we'll get an update from you at a later stage as to what's happening and what's to happen next. That's Samkele Maseko, our political reporter there on that story for us.